Good morning everybody, welcome. My name is Richard. I hope you're all really well. This is going to be just a bit of a vlog video today as I go about my daily business, but it'll be my first time driving the MG5, so that'd be good to get some first impressions of that, and I can have a bit of a test of efficiency and real world range. But we've got to do that after delivering this Model S, and along the way I'm going to drop Serge off to Bedford and pick up a Model 3. So let's measure the efficiency of this Model S. Now, we're only going to leave here with 37% battery, but that's fine. We'll stop off and have a breakfast and a charge on the way. Now, this has had an update since this is the car I used for the John O'Groats to Land's End Challenge. It's a fantastic car, just sheer range of it's brilliant, but the charging speed's been increased with a recent software update. So I'll see if we can find a V3 charger to test what the charging speed of this car is now, and we'll see what efficiency we get from this. And then I'm going to get an MG5 to drive back and see how that compares, I guess. And then my first impressions of the MG5, what I think of that as well, what the real world range of that would be. So yeah, I've sold this car now. Be a shame to wave goodbye to this Model S long range. It's just a fantastic car, it really is. And I always like getting back in the Model S. The ride comfort's lovely, great cruiser. And these cars just have a brilliant range to them. Sort of 350 miles of real world range I was getting in the summer. Okay, here we are at the Heathrow Supercharger. So we have 10% battery left. So average 277 watt hours per mile. So that's 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, which is good. And we covered 84.5 miles. It's divided by, I've got 10%, 20, 30, 7%, 27% used to get here. Times that by 100. That gives a range of 313 miles from a dead cold start in colder weather. That's even 14, it's not too chilly at the moment. Okay, we've plugged in. Thank you, Serge. Let's see what charging speed we get. Will we get 180? These are V3 chargers. There's nobody in any of the stalls next to me. There's 14 bays here, I think it is. No, 24 bays, isn't
24,
there? Yeah, big site. Here we go. Right, let's bring the camera down, let's have a look at this. I did find with this car before on the John O'Groats run that if you stop with less than 10%, it's slower. It does take above 10% to then hit 150 kilowatts. So the charging speed so far in this car has been 150 kilowatts, and that's because really we have to use a CCS adapter. Though I think this car can do 200, I think it is that right, in the States?
In the States.
Yeah, it'll do 200, but because we use a CCS adapter, it's been 150, and that's what's been changed to 180. That's what I want to see. Looks like it peaks at 133 kilowatts here, but look, you see there's quite a lot of chargers. Not anywhere near as many cars to fill even half the chargers, so it should be right, but well, I'm going to use the loo, Serge, so if that goes up, hit record. 40 kilowatts was the maximum there, so that's a bit disappointing, but anyway, by the time I've just come back from the toilet, 47%, let's just carry on. Now we've got to go up to Bedford and then on to Rugby, and that's it for today. Then drive the MG5 back. 47% Surge, that's fine. 140 kilowatts, eh?
Yeah, maximum.
Oh, well. Still, went to the toilet and come back. Met a nice fan from Netherlands there. 10% to 47%. No worries. What was that, about 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nearly 20 past now, so. All right, next stop, Bedford. Okay, there's actually a slight change of plans, so we've met up at Newport Pagnell Services southbound, and this is goodbye for Nigel. Nigel is the name of the car, by the way. So that's been a great car. As you know, I spent a lot of time in that, done some miles, and it could be the last time I see it now. It's probably just the best all-round electric car, I think. Certainly for what I want. Amazing range, efficiency, comfort, space, great stereo. The two screens is really good and easy to use. So you can see your trip and your map and your radio all at the same time. So there we go, there goes Nigel. So my drive back is this, MG5. There we go. So it's quite a new car, 2022. I've never driven the MG5 before. It's a bit dirty now from its drive to this meeting point, but nonetheless, it's quite a new car, 2022 with 2,338 miles on it. So let's just have a look here, let's get inside. I've just paired my phone off to the Bluetooth, so since it was new, 4.1 miles per kilowatt hours on average. So let's have a look. I've got 75% battery, 150 miles of range. That's probably enough just to get me back, to be honest. That's not bad, is it? Current journey, there we go. Right, so current journey set. Phone is paired on Bluetooth. Look at it, it's quite nice inside here. Leather seats. Oh, driving modes. What have we got? Eco mode, normal mode, sport mode. Ooh. Let's just put in normal mode and see what we get. So that chap there bought the Model S. He bought this car new. He liked it. All very good, but his circumstances changed. He's doing longer journeys now from the northeast down to London. And so, a car with a bigger range really is going to suit him perfectly, and that car as well. Now, he did say he'd really like the comfort levels of this, nice ride and everything. So let's see for myself, because that car there's got adaptive damping, and it really is very good. All right, reversing camera there, it's not bad. Not quite as clear as a Tesla, but you know, this isn't a Tesla. So go into there. Mirrors are okay. Right, set off. So yes, 150 miles of range, and I've got, I haven't put it into the nav actually. I'll pull up here and put my destination nav, see what we've got, but I'll probably just go back in one go, to be honest. If not, some way on to up the road here, I might just top it up a little bit. Yeah, in fact, I might just do that. Right, anyway, let's get going. MG5, here we go. Let's see what you like. A lot of people really love these cars. Owners tend to rave about them. Hard to find them on the used market. Let's give you my opinion. It does feel pretty comfortable over those bumps there. Okay, accelerating out onto the M1. Oh, front wheel spin. Hey, it goes okay. It's all right. There we go. Let's have a 60. Let's merge in front of this truck, shall we? Right, okay, well, let me get bedded in on the journey, and I'll see what we think of the MG5, eh? Okay, I've been driving this car for well over an hour now, covered 70 odd miles, and I think I'll just give you a bit of a run through of my first impressions, just as the sun's starting to set. It will get darker in here, and my first impressions are, I think it's bloody brilliant. I really like it. Again, we're talking, you know, electric cars are normally more expensive than this. This is 30 odd thousand, roughly speaking, new. This one isn't too old, it's already worth less than 30,000, and for that you get a pretty good sized battery. The range is looking quite good. 80 kilowatt charging speed. For the efficiency I'm getting, it's probably quite good. The efficiency's been climbing, but I will cover efficiency and real world range once I finish this journey. But for first impressions, what can I pick holes in? Well, not too many things really. This is the cruise control. That van's just been braking in front of me, so this has slowed down automatically. I'm set to 70 miles an hour, and this lane assist cruise control is working really nicely, especially as I've been trawling along in this busy afternoon traffic. It's really taken the strain out of the driving, so that van's now moved out the way after kind of braking quite hard there. So this is now picking up speed back to 70 as much as it can do. Keep the distance to the car in front. Lane assist all working nicely. Indicate, change lanes, it resumes the whole system automatically. You've got to remember, with something like a Tesla, you have to buy enhanced autopilot, FSD, to have that. It will lane keep on radar, but if you change lanes it will cancel. You have to re-engage it. This keeps it all going, and you can kind of override it. It just keeps the system going. So this is good, working nicely as we speak now. We've got automatic climate control, which the ZS I drove recently, despite being a top spec model, didn't have. This does. You've got economy mode, which I'm not using, but I think that turned off the air conditioning, although it still keeps automatic. In fact, it still shows AC on when I press economy, but the windscreen just misted slightly, so nonetheless, I'll leave it off. It seems to be pretty good efficiency anyway. Regen braking, not as strong as some, but again, doing a good job. It's using a regen on the adaptive cruise control here. I am slowing down because I'm going to pull into the services here in a minute. Material finishes is all pretty good. I quite like it. I can't really grumble. So I found a couple of little bits which I'll just pick out, which is I'd like my left foot just to be able to move left a bit more on the rest, just to kind of go a bit straighter, but it's fine. The seat's fine. I've got a lumbar, which I didn't find initially, but up on the side here, so it is kind of a manual lever to adjust that, but I've got that now. That's okay. So, steering wheel adjustments all good as well. That can go right in, but I like my steering wheel out here, which is nice. Analog display, but that's fine. Good colour screen in the middle there. It's doing the job, and I think it really is nice. The one thing most people do say about this is it rides very nice, it's comfortable. I totally agree. It is a very comfortable car. It's very refined. It's very quiet. It's very pleasant. The steering's very light. Yeah, there's not really any feel there, but again, just cruising down a motorway like this, it's absolutely perfectly fine. This is all regen braking as I've come off the motorway into the service area now, and it's just doing all that in regen. Haven't gone for the brake yet. It really is very pleasant. For the value for the money for an electric car, I think it's great. So let me just make a quick pit stop here, and then I will...
Route recalculation.
It's recalculating the route because I've pulled off. I don't need to charge, I'm just going to take a quick stop, but I'll get the kind of average efficiency and real world range calculations when I get back, but it is getting a little bit dark soon. So anyway, let me just stop here for the minute. But anyway, let me just stop here for a minute and I'll resume the journey. I said let go. Okay, it's 5:30 in the afternoon now. We're back at home. Pretty early finish for me, which is good. Makes a change, doesn't it? So let's run through some efficiency and real world range figures. So that was very much real world. I mean, I've been in the car for 2.9 hours now, so that was quite a lot of traffic, but when I could, I was doing the speed limit 70 miles an hour. It was dry for most of it, but there was some torrential rain at one point, so a real mixed bag. Very much real world, and my average was 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour. The long-term average on the car since new, 2,500 miles, is 4.1, so it was a bit under that. We do expect usually a bit less on motorway journeys. I'll test some around town with this later. So 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour, if you multiply that by the 57 kilowatt hours of usable battery capacity of this vehicle, you get to a bit over 220 miles of range. I've just done some calculations based off the percentage used versus the miles covered, and again that works out to about 220 miles of real world range. So for a £30,000 car, big enough for the family, I think that's pretty good. 80 kilowatt charging speed on this, so that should recharge pretty quickly. I mean, that range gives you really 3 hours of driving, doesn't it? And then a half hour, 45 minute stop to replenish. It would be quite an easy car to do long distances in. It would also be good because it's got a very good ride comfort. I mean, it's been said of this car, and I do totally agree, the ride comfort is excellent. Yes, the navigation works fine when it's in. It's a bit slow to enter, and if you try and do some of the setting stuff while you're driving, you can't really see it. Once you've figured out the lane assist cruise control function, that's all good, no problem there. The air conditioning was keeping a nice even temperature, so pleased with that. You've got a couple of regen modes here, but I just had it on the maximum for most of my driving. It's not as strong as some cars, but again, did the job. So my first impressions of this car really are quite good. I would just like to see a mobile phone sort of wireless charger somewhere, and wireless Apple CarPlay would be excellent as well. Bigger screen, bigger font, slightly faster software. But you've got to say, you know, this car, value for money, it is very, very good, and it's a real pleasure to drive. So yeah, it drives lovely. So I think we'll wrap it up for that video for today, but I'm going to be using this again. I'll be out tonight, taking my daughter to dance lessons, do the school run in the morning, commute to work, use it a little bit more, and then I'll do like another kind of review video and show you around the car in a bit more detail. Again, we're just limited by hours now, it's dark, so I'll just try and give you this summary, which is kind of my real world range and efficiency test. I'm quite pleased. It does beat that Tesla. So that Tesla, I got 3.6 odd on the journey up there. And this did slightly better than that. I do feel like a Tesla Model 3 and some other cars would have been slightly more efficient, but it didn't do itself too bad at all. I think generally it was a fairly gentle run back, just because the traffic meant the speeds were a bit lower, which normally helps with efficiency. However, it's good to see that the long term there, 4.1, so a bit of round town driving, it should be a bit more efficient. Anyway, that's it for me for now. I'm going to shoot off. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video, and that will include a big review of this car, and I'll show you around it a bit more when it's not dark. Thanks for watching. See you soon.